Hello and welcome once again. My name is Darren and I'm playing Arkham Horror, the living card game on Lackey. I am playing through the Dunnage campaign and I am playing as Ashcan Pete as, well, I don't know what's going on there. I'm playing as Ashcan Pete, wow, Ashcan Pete through the Dunnage campaign and have completed, thus far I have completed um, extracurricular activity, and the house always wins. Uh, I do currently have a total, or I had a total of 5 XP. Professor Warren Rice is in my deck. I did spend 3 XP to get a scrapper. I did toy around with the idea of going ahead and using 2 XP to replace at least one of my Pete Silvestris, but I kind of like to do them both at the same time, so I decided not to do that. So here I am with the next portion of the game where I'm at the Miskatonic Museum. I am playing the Miskatonic Museum on standard, which is what I'm playing this campaign at. So the skull is a -1, -3 instead if the hunting horror is at your location. The cultist is a -1. If you fail, you search for the hunting horror and spawn it at your location. The tablet is a -2 and return one of your clues to your current location. And the Elder Thing, which is not in my bag, but the tablet is, but the Elder Thing is a -3 if you fail, discard an asset you control. In regards to the tablet, if I pull it on an investigation test, this is what I'm going to do. If I don't have a clue at the time, I'm going to pull and resolve the tablet. So that means it'll be a -2. I would return one of my current non-existing clues to the location, and then I would still gain a clue. That's the way I'm going to play it. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. I have my starting hand here, which I've yet to mulligan. I have Peter Silvestri. I have a magnifying glass. I have a run for your life. I have a fight or flight, and I have an unexpected courage. So this being a Dark Horse build, I did put Scrapper in case you don't get Dark Horse early. You do have something to spend extra resources on because this is a fairly resource light deck. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pitch the Run for Your Life, the Fight or Flight, and the Unexpected Courage. So we drew up an Overpower, a Dr. Armitage, and a Reckless Assault. We'll take that and we will shuffle it back in. Oops. I don't think I shuffled. There it went. Alright, I have not read my agenda or act yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. Agenda 1A, restricted access. Dr. Armitage has given you the university's Latin translation of the Necronomicon to his associate, Dr. Harold Walsted, the curator of the Miskatonic University Museum. Worried that someone might still be after the book, you have gone to the museum to recover it. Forced, when the hunting horror enters play, attach the set-aside copy of the Shadow Spawn to it, or add one resource to Shadow Spawn if it is already attached. Act 1A, finding a way inside. Unfortunately, the entrance to the museum is kept locked at this late hour. A security guard is visible through the building's front window. Oblivious to his surroundings, perhaps you can find a way to get his attention and convince him to let you in. Alright, so I think we start off here in the museum entrance. I apologize. The restricted access agenda has a doom threshold of 5, and the finding a way inside act requires 2 clues to complete and advance. The museum entrance is a 3-shroud location with 2 clues. This is where we start. Investigators at the museum entrance cannot gain resources, and that is via any means. Dr. Millie and Christopher, using an action to gain a clue. You don't gain one during the upkeep. You just cannot gain clues, or pardon me, resources, that is, not clues, while you're at the museum entrance. It does have the action you can resign. How important can a book really be anyway? Also, a note, the museum halls. The entrance to the museum halls is locked. You cannot move into the museum halls. As an action, you can test combat of 5 to attempt to break down the door to the museum. If successful, you can advance to Agenda 1B. As a note, you cannot use Duke as in that because it is his ability is for a fight test, not a skill test. So typically with Ashcan, I do try and just get to this, get these clues. In my test playthroughs, I've had a couple of good test playthroughs, and I've had a couple of bad test playthroughs. I do typically at least test twice on a scenario before I do my recorded one. And a couple of my test playthroughs, I actually did rather well, but a couple of my test playthroughs, I've done really poorly as well. So I'm kind of hoping this goes well. I'm going to use a new tactic this time that I've yet to use though, and see if that maybe helps a little bit more. I'll just go ahead and make a note that in the administration office, there are two versions of it. One requires you to have basically 5 or more resources, and the other wants you to have 5 or more cards in your hand, I think. So I'm going to limit what I play here at the beginning, which is something that I haven't done in the past. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this fast action to play the magnifying glass. Then I'm going to use the ability on Duke. So this is a 5 to 3. We'll just take it at a 5 to 3. Chaos Bag is a -2. That's 3 to 3. That's a pass. Minus clue. Add a clue. We will am going to go ahead, because I will get to draw before I go there. We'll go ahead and discard a Reckless Assault to Ready Duke and use Duke again to go at this at a 5 to 3 again. Ooh, that's the auto fail. I really don't want to do too much here, again, because I might need either resources or cards to search out this location. But I think I am going to go ahead and play a Peter Silvestri as my third action. So that was the investigator phase. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies. Upkeep, we'll draw a card, and we'll gain a resource. Mythos phase, we'll add a Doom to the agenda, and we'll draw an encounter card. That's a locked door. Locked door is an obstacle, is a revelation attached to the location with most clues, and without a locked door attached, the attached location cannot be investigated. You must first use an action to either use a combat check of 4 to break down the door, or an agility of 4 to pick the locks. After you succeed, you get to discard that. I did not ready Duke. So I think I'm going to use my agility, because that's a 3. 4 because I do have Peter Silvestri out. So I'm a 4 to 4 currently. Well, I think the idea of holding on to cards was not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and discard Armitage. So this is a 6 to 4. Chaos Bag, be kind. -2. So that was successful. This gets discarded. I'm going to go ahead and use Duke for 5, 6, 7, 7 to 3. It's -2. So that's successful. I'm going to go ahead and spin these clues. Well, I didn't add the one here, but it does the same thing. To flip this, we did use the clues to advance. You find the window nearest the guard and tap on it loud enough to get his attention. He gives you a startle jump, then shifts up in the window. What do you want? He asks timidly. You explain the situation to him and tell him he is in grave danger. He wearily opens the front door of the museum, shaking his head. I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Choose an investigator to take control of the set-aside Adam Lynch asset. Reveal the museum halls and advance to Act 2A, Night at the Museum. So reveal the museum halls. We will go to my aside area and take Adam Lynch and gain him. We will go ahead and go to the acts, and we are looking for Act 2A, Night at the Museum. The Necronomicon is being kept in the restricted hall somewhere in the museum. Adam barely knows his way around and gives a startled jump at every creak of the old building. I just started here last week, he explains. What sort of trouble did you say was going on? You haven't the heart to give him the full story. We actually are still in the investigator phase, so we took two actions. We broke down the locked door, and we investigated. We'll use our final action to go ahead and move into the museum halls. This might be an opportunity to kind of come back a little bit so that we can go into the administration office, I think. There are currently no enemies. We'll come to the upkeep phase where we'll draw a card. You know what? I did not draw a card for that perception. So I'll just go ahead and draw a second card. Alright, so we have done the upkeep. We need to gain a resource. And we will come to the mythos phase. We'll add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. It is a curse luck. You put curse luck into play in your threat area. You get -1 skill value during skill tests. Force after you succeed. Add a skill test by 1 or more. Discard cursed luck. We come to the investigator phase. I didn't really do, which I'm bad at doing. So either way, I don't think I have the capacity to do in the administration office what I need to do. So I'm not going to use the ability on Duke. I'm going to just move into the administration office as my first action. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal it and add some clues. It is the administration office. It is the one shroud location with one clue. You cannot investigate the administration office while you have 4 or fewer resources. So this means that I have to have at least 5 resources. So my first action was to move. Second and third actions, I'm just going to go ahead and gain 2 resources. We'll come to the enemy phase. We'll come to the upkeep phase where I'll draw a card and gain a resource. We'll come to the mythos phase where we'll add a doom to the agenda. We'll draw an encounter card. That is a Visions of the Future's Past. Revelation test willpower 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. Currently my willpower is a 4-3 because of cursed luck. I have no bonuses and nothing in my hand that I can toss to this. So this is just going to be a 3-5 chaos bag. That's a -1, so I ended up being 2-5, so I discard the top 3 cards on my deck. Vicious Blow, Run for Your Life, and an Unexpected Courage. Alright, we come to the investigator phase. We will go ahead and use the ability on Duke. So currently that is a 4, so I'm not going to count Magnifying Glass because of Curse Luck. So this is a 4-1. Yep, that's going to be what it is, 4-1. Chaos Bag, that's a -1, so that's a pass. So that's 3-1, so the Chaos, that goes back, this goes back to the discard, and I gain that clue. Alright, second action, I'm going to go ahead and move back down to the museum halls. And as my final action, I'm going to go ahead and spend a clue to reveal the top location of the boy, I'm hoping I set that up. I don't remember if I set up the exhibit halls. If by some chance I run into the restricted hall before the bottom three, we'll do something. We'll just fix it. We'll hope that that doesn't happen. But anyway, so that is my three actions. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies. Upgrade or upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. Manual dexterity. Get him ready, and we'll gain a resource. Mythos phase, we'll come to the Mythos phase. We will put a Doom on the agenda, and we will draw an encounter card. Passage into the Veil is a revelation. Is a test of willpower 3. This test has +2 difficulty if hunting horror is your location, which it's not, so it's just a test of 3. If you fail, you must choose either discard the top 5 cards of your deck or take 1 direct damage and deal 1 damage to each of your ally assets. So this is a 4 to 3. No pluses on the board. Nothing I can discount. Discard. That's a 0. That's a pass. Kind of glad because that would have been terrible. Thinking for just a moment here. I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead in the investigator phase. I'm trying to determine if I think it's worth going to the security offices. We're going to skip it for now. I don't have to worry about resources or hand size so much anymore now that I've got this out of the way. And I can always go back up here and get clues if need be. So we're going to pass that by. We're going to use Duke's ability to investigate. We're going to move here. That is the exhibit hall nature exhibit. It is a forest shroud location. After you enter this location, discard 2 cards at random from your hand. So we'll just click here, discard X cards at random. 2. So that was an overpower and a say your prayers. So that is a so right now I'm currently at a 4-5. 5 to 4. I don't have anything I can toss at this. Gas bag. That's the auto fail. I think we're going to just pitch a say your prayers to Ready Duke. We'll do it again. 5 to 4. That's a skull. That's a -1, so that's a pass. So we get this clue. And we use our final action to go ahead and go to back to the museum hall. So we use Duke's ability to move investigate. That failed. We investigated and then we moved back. We'll come to the enemy phase. There are currently no enemies. Upkeep phase. We'll draw a card and we'll gain a resource. We'll come to the Mythos phase. We would normally put a Doom on the Mythos on the agenda. However, that's all of them, so we'll go ahead and remove all Doom in play. And we will flip this. A creature of the void. From the shadows of the museum halls, a terrible creature slithers forth, long and serpentine and propelled by black leathery wings. If the hunting horror is in play, add 1 Zoom to it. If it isn't, you search for it, spawn it in the museum halls of Abel, and then shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So we're going to just go ahead and reveal to all of these. Hey, hunting horror would have been the next card. So it would go to the halls, but since I'm in the halls, it'll come to me. We will go ahead and shuffle these. Oh, we'll put these in there. Shuffle it again. We did that because it told us to shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Shadows deepen. The shadows of the museum grow and become darker. As the shadows lengthen and shift, they begin to suggest the sinewy body of an uncanny creature darting at the periphery of your awareness. Forced, when the hunting horror enters play, attach the set-aside copy of the Shadow Spawn to it, or add 1 resource to Shadow Spawn if it is already attached. So we didn't add that here because 1A was no longer visible, so that actually doesn't come into play. There are some cards in the encounter deck that can spawn it, the hunting horror, while this agenda is out, and if that happens, you'd simply just then you would do that. But since that was not out, he doesn't get that little bonus. It's just him. So come back to here, and we are ready for our encounter card, which is Passage into the Veil again. It is a willpower test of 3. It has +2 difficulty, so it is a 5. Because the hunting horror is at your location, and if I fail, I must choose discard the top card, 5 cards of my deck, or take 1 direct damage and deal 1 damage to each of my ally assets. I don't really want to lose Adam Lynch, because it does add a tablet token to the Chaos Bag for the remainder of the campaign, and I already have one, so I will probably take, I'll probably just discard the top 5 cards of my deck. This is a 5, and I'm a 4 currently, and I could throw out a Dark Horse, but I don't really see the reason to do that, because that's still going to just put me 5 to 5. So this is a 5 to 4, so that's a fail. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. So that goes there. This goes here. Alright, 5 cards. A Perception, a Guts, 2, drawing the sign 3, hey. No Stone Unturned 4, and an Overpower 5. Kind of would have liked to have seen that No Stone Unturned with Dark Horse in my hand, so that I could help deal with the with stuff here. So I think what I'm going to do, my first action is going to be to take the attack of opportunity to play Dark Horse. I'll put the horror on Sylvestrian, the damage on Duke. Then I'm going to attack, and I'm going to use all 5 of my resources. Bloop, 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 bloop. So I'm going to attack using, I'm going to just attack without Duke actually here. So I am a 7, 8 because of Dark Horse, 8 to 2. That's a -4. That actually wasn't bad that I did that. So I pass that and deal him 1 damage. Alright. And now I'm going to use Duke. So pardon me. That is a fight, and it's a base skill of 4, and it deals +1 damage. So this is 4, a 5 because of Dark Horse. So this is a 5 to 2. That's a -1, so he takes 2 damage, and I'll just put the void will be up here, so whoops. Looks like I'm trying to remove Doom, that's the problem. So my first action was to play a Dark Horse, my second action was to fight, and then my third action was to fight using Duke. That's my investigator phase. We'll come to the enemy phase. There are currently no enemies. Upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. We will not gain a resource. The Mythos phase, we'll add a Doom to the agenda, and we'll draw an encounter card. That's a Beyond the Veil. Beyond the Veil is a hex. It has Surge keyword. Revelation, put Beyond the Veil into play in your threat area. If there's no copy of Beyond the Veil in your threat area, forced if your deck has no cards in it, take 10 damage and discard Beyond the Veil. Well, I have already discarded quite a number of cards from both the Visions of Future Past that I failed and that one pushed into the void that I failed. So hoping that maybe I find that restricted access here sooner than later. Alrighty, that does have Surge, so we're doing another encounter card, which is a Cursed Luck. Cursed Luck is an omen, is Revelation, put Cursed Luck into play in your threat area. You get -1 skill value during skill tests. Forced, after you succeed at a skill test by 1 or more, you discard Cursed Luck. We'll go to the investigator phase. We will use our first action will be to remove this clue to put a location into play. We're going to shore this up real tight here because I won't be going back to the exhibit hall. We'll go back to my hand. So second action, we're going to use the ability on Duke. We're going to go here as part of that, and we're going to reveal any clues. This is the Athabascan exhibit. It is forced when you enter this location, lose all the remaining actions and immediately end your turn. While you're at that location, you get +2 agility. We will come to the enemy phase. We will come to the upkeep phase. We will draw a card. And I'm actually going to go ahead and gain a resource. Yep. Mythos phase, we will add a Doom. And draw an encounter card. Stalked in the Dark. If Hunting Horror is in play, it readies, engages you, and attacks each investigator at your location. Otherwise, it gains Surge. That is a second Cursed Luck, so those are not unique, so you get them all. As an omen, put Cursed Luck into play in your threat area. You get -1 skill value during skill tests, so currently I'm a -2. Forced after you succeed a skill test by 1 or more, discard Cursed Luck. Now, I'm going to take that as if I were to get 1 or more on any skill test here in the next little bit, both of those get discarded. That seems right to me. Alright, investigator phase. We're going to use the free action here to play that. Action 1 is going to be to move here. We're going to use the ability on Duke to move to the security office. And we're going to reveal and add clues. So this is to search the top 6 cards of your deck. You have the double action, search the top 6 cards of your deck for a card and add it to your hand, shuffle the rest back into your deck. I probably won't do that. So currently this is a 4. So I've got these 2, so those will just be negated by Curse Luck. So I'm a 4, 5 from Dark Horse, 5 to 2. Chaos Bag. That's the +1. So that's actually a success. So we'll do the clue first. We'll remove a clue from there, add a clue to here, and then we'll discard these 2. Alright, so action 1 was to move, action 2 was move, investigate, action 3 will be just move back here. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies in play. Upkeep phase, we'll draw a card, and we will not gain a resource. We will ready Duke. Mythos phase, we'll add a doom to the agenda, and we will draw an encounter card. That's a Crypt Chill. Crypt Chill is a willpower test. A 4. If you fail, choose and discard one asset you control. If you cannot, you take 2 damage instead. I'm actually not that concerned about failing this because I could just discard one of these magnifying glasses. So this is a 4/5 to 4. Cast bag. That's a -1. That's actually a pass. 4 to 4. All right. We come back to the investigator phase. First action, we'll spend a clue to reveal a location or pull out a location. We will come to, so that's action 1. Second action, we will use the ability on Duke to move investigate. As long as this isn't the restricted hall, I know that I didn't mess up. If it is restricted hall, we'll deal with it. Exhibit hall, Medusa exhibit is a 2-shroud location with 1 clue per investigator. Forced, after you fail a skill test while investigating this location, discard an asset you control. So right now I must go ahead and complete this. So this is a 4, 5, 6, 7 from Dark Horse, 7 to 2. So we'll just go with that. Chaos bag. Whoops. That is, so that's the tablet. Again, I currently do not have a clue. So I'm going to complete this where I will return this clue that I don't have to the location. I succeed and gain a clue. If somebody knows of some reason where I'm actually wrong about that, let me know. I will re-record. And I know I accidentally pulled the encounter card when I meant to hit the chaos button, but I'm not that worried about it. So I spent a clue, I moved, investigated, and I'm going to move back. We come to the enemy phase, upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. It's Desperate Search, and we will not gain a resource. Yep, we will not. We will ready Duke, though, since I always forget. Mythos phase, we will add a doom to the agenda. And we will draw an encounter card, which is that surprising Visions of Future Past. This is a willpower test of 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. So I am currently a 4, a 5 from because of Dark Horse. Even though this puts me just 1 up, I'm going to go ahead and discard my extra Peter Silvestri. So I am a 6 to 5. Chaos bag. That's the -2, so that's not bad. So I was 6 to 5. This puts me 4 to 5. So I just discard 1 card. Fight or flight. All right. Now we come to the investigator phase. We will spend a clue to reveal or put out the next encounter location. As long as these don't have clues on them and I won't be going back to them, I'm going to shore this up as much as possible. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I am. I will go ahead and use the ability on Duke to move and investigate. So this is section 2. Exhibit hall. After you fail the skill test while investigating this location, lose 1 action. There's a 3-shroud location with 2 clues per investigator. So currently I am a 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 to 3, and I don't have anything I can toss to this. 7 to 3. Chaos bag. That is a tablet. Again, I don't currently have a clue. If I did, I would return 1, and then I would gain 1, so it would just be I would just keep just the 1. So I'm going to take this as -2. I succeed. I return my non-existent clue. This goes back to the chaos bag. And I remove this clue and gain a clue. I'm going to go ahead and pitch a run for your life using Ashcan Pete's ability to go ahead and ready Duke, and I'm going to do it again. So 7, I believe, is my number 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 to 3. Chaos bag is the cultist is a -1. I don't fail, so I'm not going to worry about the rest of that script. So I take a clue and add a clue. So first action was spend a clue to bring out this location. Second action was move, investigate, and then investigate. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies. Upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. We'll not gain a resource. We'll come to the mythos phase. We will add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. This is a twist of fate. It has as omen as revelation. Reveal a random token from the chaos bag. If you reveal the elder sign symbol or a positive number, nothing happens. If you reveal any other number, you take 1 damage. And if you reveal one of the crazy symbols, you take 2 horror. Same as in before. I believe, and if I remember reading the article, 0 is also a positive, so we're going to take that as a positive if I pull it. Chaos bag. Or maybe not. We'll see what I pull. That is the skull. I take 2 horror anyway. Peter Silvestri should have healed this horror forever ago, so I'm just going to put 1 on him and then 1 on Duke, which I didn't ready. Oh. Alright, chaos bag. And here. Although, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually go ahead and take this horror off here because I should have healed 1. And I'm going to take the 2 horror, because that does allow me to now use these desperate cards. So come back to the investigator phase. We will, first action, we will move back to the museum halls. Second action, actually second and third action, we're going to use both these clues to bring out the last 2 museum hall locations. We will leave a little bit of space here, just in case I do end up moving there and something happening. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies. Upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. Which was a lucky. We will not gain a resource. Mythos phase, we'll add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. That is a Visions of Future Past. So this is a willpower test of 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. So I am currently a 4/5 because of Dark Horse. So this is a 5 to 5. We're gonna go ahead and pitch an Unexpected Courage. So this is a 7 to 5. Chaos bag. That's -1. That's a pass. I'm actually pretty grateful for that. Like, because my deck is down to 8 cards, so that's getting a little on the scary side. Investigator phase. We will use Duke. Which one? I'm going to use Duke as this first action to move and investigate here. Exhibit Hall, Restricted Hall. While the Haunting Horror is at this location, it cannot be investigated. So note that Night at the Museum says the Necronomicon is being, if an investigator enters the exhibit hall, advance. This happens first before completing this investigation, even. When you enter the restricted hall, you find the creator of the museum lying in a pool of blood, his intestines strewn about in a grotesque display. Your stomach turns over and you resist the urge to vomit. Whatever did this is still nearby. Search the encounter deck, discard pile, and void all play areas for the hunting horror and placed in the exhibit hall, restricted hall, ready. Advance to Act 3A. So we'll go ahead and do that. Act 3A, searching for the tome. Searching for the tome says, somewhere in this area is Olus's Latin translation of the Necronomicon. You must find it and escape while you can. Objective, if there are no clues remaining on the exhibit hall, advance. So he actually comes and engages with me because he would come to the exhibit hall. And now, because this agenda is out, I must also go to the set aside area and find Shadow Spawn and attach it to him. I'm going to keep them unattached just because to me it's a little complicated to try and keep things together like that. So they're going to just kind of stay apart, and I will just remember that it's attached. Attach the stethoscope. Okay, so this is the first time it's getting attached, so it does not get a resource. So I am going to pitch a lucky to ready Duke. I'm going to use Duke's ability to fight. With a base skill of 4, I have +1 because of Dark Horse. So this is a 5-2. Chaos Bag. That is the Elder Sign. That is nice. So Ashcan Pete's ability is Elder Sign is effect +2 and Ready Duke. So I succeed. So he takes 2 damage. And this goes back into the Chaos Bag. All right. So my first action was move, and the investigation got interrupted because of the hunting horror showing up here. My second action was to attack the hunting horror, and my third action is I'm going to attack again. So I'm a 5-2 on this. That is a -3. Nope, that's a -1 because that's the cultist, not the skull. It goes back to the Chaos Bag. He would take 2 damage, and I will just use this area as the void as well. So that damage comes off of him. And that's my 3 actions. Enemy phase, there are currently no enemies. Upkeep phase, we'll draw a card. That's an overpowered. That's actually good. We'll come to the Mythos phase. We would normally add a Doom, but however that satisfies the Doom threshold, so that's going to go away, and we will flip over into Hunted Down. The creature does not relent, pursuing you throughout the museum. If Hunting Horror is in play, add 1 Zoom to it. It is not in play. If Hunting Horror is not in play, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and void for the Hunting Horror, and spawn it at the Museum Halls of Avil. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So this is attached to him, but keep in mind that the other side of this cannot be seen, so you do not add a resource to that. This just... Wait. Museum Halls. So he actually comes here. I think I've been playing that wrong in the past. We go to Agenda 3A. Agenda 3A. In every shadow, the creature in the museum grows larger and more terrifying with each passing moment. Its body slithers from shadow to shadow, every corner of every room a potential hiding place for the hideous beast. That force effect, which I will not read currently because we know what it says. And we will draw an encounter card. That is Beyond the Veil. Actually, let's go back to my hand here real quick. I'm going to draw the second encounter card because Beyond the Veil does have Surge. So we come to a Visions of Futures Past. We are a 5 because of Dark Horse. We are a 5-5 on this test. Chaos bag. Ooh. Ooh. So I discard 4 cards from my deck. 1, Fight or Flight. 2, Professor Warnrice. 3, Wrecked by Nightmares. That's fine. 4, Dark Horse. Okay. I'm going to rewind. I'll put that back. I did not complete this. Let's go back to the discard pile. If we do these in reverse order, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I had not completed the instructions here, which said to put the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck and shuffle it. So I'm going to go back and redraw my encounter card, which is Crypt Chill. So this is a 5 to 4. Chaos Bag. That's the auto fail. I choose and discard 1 asset I control. I will just discard 1 of these magnifying glasses. Alright, so I've got a couple of decisions here. I feel like I could potentially take out the Hunting Horror and potentially get the clues that are here. And then I have enough horror that if I need to, I can use Desperate Search when Wrecked by Nightmares comes out. I did not alter the order that the cards came off of my deck. I put them back in order because that one small misplay, but I think I rewound enough that I was able to do that. I think I want to make this attempt. So my first action is to go back to the museum halls. The Hunting Horror will engage me. I'm going to use the ability on Duke to fight. So this is a 4, 5 from Dark Horse, 6 from Vicious Blow. So this is a 6 to 2. 6 to 2, Chaos Bag. That is fantastic. So he takes 3 damage from Vicious Blow and Duke and goes to the Void. Duke readies, and this goes back to Chaos Bag. So that was my first. I moved and fought. Next action, I'm going to exhaust Duke. So this, and move, and investigate. This is Exhibit Hall, Hall of the Dead. This is a 3-shroud location with 2 clues per investigator. After you fail a skill test while investigating this location, you take 1 horror. So this is a 4, 5, 6, 6 to 3. I'm going to take that just as that. Shuffle up that Chaos Bag. That's a -3. That's a 3 to 3. That's a success. That goes there. I'll take this clue off here and add it to here. We come to the enemy phase. There are currently no enemies in play. We'll come to the upkeep phase, where we will draw a card and not gain a resource. Yeah, no, I don't think I need that. And we'll ready Duke. Yeah, I don't think I need that Fight or Flight. We will come to the Mythos phase. We'll add a Doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. That is a stalked in the dark. Hunting horrors and play it readies engage you and attack each other and each investigator at your location. Otherwise, it gains surge. That's sort of what I get for trying to do something different here. So he comes. Does he engage me? Found it at your location, engaged with you. So this gets a resource. Now. So now he has all those pluses. If I evade him, I'm thinking out loud here for a moment. So if I evade him, I do have a manual dexterity, and I have Pete out, so I've got all kinds of pluses. So I think I could evade him. And then I would, so that'd be action 1. Action 2, I would just investigate on my own without Duke, and I would discard a desperate search. And then action 3, I would move back to the museum halls. Because he is a 4 currently. 4 health and 3 combat. And he's a... We're going to try to evade him. So he's a 3 evade. We're going to discard manual dexterity. So that puts me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 3. Chaos bag. That's the 0. So that's success. Just put him right there. We're gonna try to investigate, so I'm gonna go ahead and discard a desperate search. So that's 4. 4, 5, 6, 7 to 3. Chaos bag. That's -2, so that's a pass. 5 to 3. Minus clue. Plus clue. And final action, we're gonna move. We come to the enemy phase. We do the action on the hunting horror. So we will shuffle this. Chaos bag. Yay! So that is not one of the crazy symbols, so he does not ready. So this goes back to the chaos bag. We come to the enemy phase. No readied enemies. He doesn't move. Nothing happens. We come to the upkeep phase. We will draw a card. We will not gain a resource. He readies. And we come to the mythos phase. We'll add a doom to the agenda. And we will draw an encounter card. That's what I didn't want to see here. So Visions of Future Past is a willpower testifier. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. So Visions of Future Past mixed with Beyond the Veil could spell the end of me here. Because I don't think I've got enough damage available out there to take 10. So we're going to pitch Rice. So we're a 4, 5 from Rice, 6 from Dark Horse, 6 to 5. Come on, Chaos Bag. Be nice to me here. 6 to 5. That's a -2, so that puts me at 4 to 5, so that's just 1. We'll discard the top card of my deck. That's the Racked by Nightmares. That's fine. So this goes back here, and this goes here. We come to the Investigator phase. We're going to use Duke's ability to move and investigate here in the exhibit hall. So he's a 4, 5, 6 with Dark Horse. 6 to 3. Chaos Bag. That's a -2. So that's a 4 to 3. That's a pass. That's a minus clue. Whoops. I did not mean to add a doom. We'll just take that. We meant to do that. Add a clue. We're going to go all in. We're going to pitch fight or flight to ready Duke. We're going to use Duke's ability and pitch a desperate search. So that's 8 alone. 8, 9, 10, 10 to 3. The only thing, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Hold up. Should I not use that desperate search just in case I need to investigate again? I have something to pitch to it. Because I have one more action. We're going to do that. We're going to put this back into my hand. I think I have one more action, right? Because I move investigated using Duke. This is my second action I'm investigating, so yes. So I'm a 4, 5, 6 to 3. Chaos bag. That's a -3. That's a pass. 3 to 3. So chaos bag. We take that clue and we advance. At last, you find the locked case containing the Necronomicon. The tome, over 800 pages in length, is filled with all manner of macabre images, formulae, spells, prophecies, and descriptions of creatures from beyond the threshold of space. Without a doubt, it is a dangerous book, but its secrets could be very useful. Investigators must decide. Choose one. It's too dangerous to keep around. We have to destroy it. Or it's too valuable to destroy. We have to keep it safe. So I'm going to destroy it. I don't see a reason for Ashcan Pete Dark Horse build that doesn't need resources, which is what the Necronomicon gives you, to have that. So I'm going to destroy that book. So I believe... Nope, I thought I had the resolution on my screen, but I didn't. Not a big deal. So yeah, that was successful. So from this, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victory points just from locations. I get 5 victory points just from locations. So I will read the resolution afterwards and see if I get any more from the resolution, which is resolution R1. So I'll read that. So I came into this scenario with 2 XP, and I'm leaving it with, at minimum, including that 2 XP from before, I'm going to have 7 if the scenario doesn't give me any more. This was a pretty good run through. I did have, again in my playthroughs, I did have a couple of pretty bad ones. Beyond the Veil and Visions of Future Past, and that other one, Pushed into the Void, really has gotten me close. It killed me in a couple of my my playthroughs, my earlier test playthroughs before I recorded, and got pretty close here because here we go. My deck size is 4, so sorry about the one play mistake of not shuffling the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck, but I think I resolved that at least well enough to my thought. If you have any other thoughts on that, please feel free to share them. You can make a comment in the comments section below. Also, go ahead if you'd like to give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying my walkthrough here. I will move on to the Essex County Express next. I'll let you know what I upgrade then, but most likely I'm going to very least put into Peter Silvestri, and then which will take up 4 of the 7 that I currently have. So that'll leave me 3 XP. Not sure what I'll use it for right away. I might, because this is a Dark Horse build and I don't really need much of anything else. If the level, like if the higher level Lucky doesn't cost a resource, I may replace those. If it does, I might replace those anyway with my other 3, but I think they're 2 XP for each one. And I'm one of those weird people that I don't like mixing it up and only replacing one of them. I may use an XP to play Rougarou with Ashcan. So next maybe the Essex County Express, or it may be Rougarou. We'll see. We'll see how I'm doing. I may do at least Essex County Express. No, I think it kind of makes sense. Maybe he travels down to New Orleans before heading off to Dunwich. I'll decide between now and then. If you have an opinion, maybe make a comment. Either way, you can find me around in the places as Jacques Steampunk. I'm Jacques on the Discord channel, uh, or the Discord server, that is. I again hope you've enjoyed this playthrough. Thank you, and have a great day.